Tonight, I begin our journey to platinum the original Modern Warfare trilogy. This trilogy will take us through 3 action-packed campaigns as we experience both the highs and the extreme lows that the Modern Warfare trilogy has to offer. To do this, we have to begin with the first game in the trilogy, and that game is Modern Warfare Remastered's campaign will have us covering 2 different narratives as we play as 2 main characters. The first being John Soap McTavish, a member of the SAS, as we carry out covert operations behind enemy lines, and our second character, Paul Jackson, a US Marine, as we fight on the front lines in the Middle East. With 51 trophies required for the Platinum, we will have to cover everything COD4 has to offer. This requires us to beat the main 20 missions in the campaign on Veteran, the hardest difficulty in the game. We will also have to grab all 30 pieces of intel scattered throughout the campaign, and we will even rewrite history with a single bullet. But all of these trophies pale in comparison to the hardest in the game, Mile High Club, as we have to beat a bonus mission on Veteran to secure the Platinum, and this is easily the hardest mission in any Call of Duty game. But before any of that happens, if you enjoy the video, consider leaving a like, hype, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And with all of that out of the way, let's begin. The main trophy we will be aiming for by the end of the campaign is called Deep and Hard.
That's what she said!
And we will earn this by finishing the entire campaign on Veteran difficulty. And we kick this off by starting the campaign with our first mission. During our first mission, FNG, we will earn 3 trophies. The first trophy for simply finishing the mission, but the other 2 are for finishing the cargo ship in under 19 seconds and then under 15 seconds. So our journey truly begins with both Gaz and Price talking about the state of the world. And much like real life, Russia is ruled by a pack of cunts, and the Middle East is at war with itself for the 15th time this year, so it's pretty realistic. But the biggest concern they have is a new member joining the SAS, and that just happens to be us. This is when we come face to face with Gaz, as he plans on putting us through our paces. This leads us doing the usual COD tutorial, but I still find it hilarious that a member of the SAS needs to be taught how to fire a gun. Thankfully though, it's not a complete waste of time, as Gaz does give us some great advice that will save me many times during this campaign.
Remember, switching to your pistol is always faster than reloading.
And before you know it, he comes out with yet another iconic line.
Nice! Your fruit killing skills are remarkable.
Eventually, after that quick rundown on how to fire a weapon, we are then ordered to report to Captain Price. Before that though, I quickly grabbed the M16 grenade launcher for a couple of reasons. Finally, we do come face to face with the captain, and let's just say he isn't a fan of Soap straight away.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection?
To try prove we aren't a complete muppet, we run the cargo ship assault course and we aim to beat the squad's record. And this is why you grab the grenade launcher, as it allows you to clear the first level pretty easily.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
But being a COD OG, I can still remember this course pretty well, as we clear room after room with ease, and finally after shooting through the cover to save us some valuable seconds, we manage a very respectable 16 seconds, earning us the first trophy of the video for beating the squad's record time. To get the second trophy, however, we need to beat 15 seconds, so I ran the course again with some very mixed results. And with each attempt we got closer and closer to beating the 15-second mark. Eventually everything just clicked as we dropped each target quicker than before, and then managed to hit the last 2 targets through the wood, earning us the best of the best trophy for beating the course in under 15 seconds. After proving that we aren't a complete waste of time to Price, us and the rest of Bravo team will be conducting a raid on the cargo ship later tonight, and this will lead us into our next mission. This did get us the trophy for finishing the FNG mission. During the second mission, Crew Expendable, we will earn another 2 trophies. The first for finishing the mission, and the second for finishing it on Veteran difficulty. Price has been given a tip from an informant about a suspected nuclear missile on board the cargo ship, so it's up to us to board the ship kill the crew, and secure the nuclear package. Now, most people would probably be shitting themselves at the idea of boarding a ship full of armed Russians and potentially a nuclear missile, but Price couldn't give any less of a fuck as he just sits here and smokes a cigar. As we reach the ship, us and the lads fast rope down and start to clear the ship.
Weapons free. Bridge secure.
Slowly moving our way through the cargo ship, we clear any and all enemies we encounter, even this drunk fella, and we follow this up by finding the first of 30 pieces of intel. As our squad begin to push forward, the Ruskies catch on and begin firing at us from an elevated position, but we did bring a few choppers with us and they make quick work of the Russians. As we breach the main deck of the ship, we see Gaz is a sweaty fucking tryhard as he carries a shotgun just for close encounters. Pushing deeper into the ship though, we still haven't had any near-death experiences, so I was fairly confident at the minute. Well, that was until I tried stun the next room. Price shoved me from behind and I stunned myself and everyone else. So next time I made sure he was well out of the way before I chucked the flashbang, and this allowed us to push in and gain a foothold in the next room. This room was easily where the fighting was thickest, but instead of swinging corners, I decided to toss frag grenades around for fun, allowing both us and Price to advance and kill the last two remaining enemies. Opening the container, we see the nuclear package inside, but before we can secure it for exfil, we are warned of Russian MiGs approaching to sink the ship. We grab the shipping manifest and try double time it to the surface, but soon we have bigger problems.
Bravo 6, come in. Bravo 6, what's your status?
The ship's sinking! We've got to go! Now!
6, come in, damn it!
Big Bird, this is Bravo 6. We're on our way out. On your feet, soldier! We are leaving!
You'll see over the course of the trilogy, Price loves picking people up off the floor. Granted, sometimes he is the reason why the person is on the floor, so this ship is going down faster than the Titanic, and it really is vital we get to the surface quickly, as everyone knows what happens to soap when you leave it in water for too long. Just as we make it topside, we see our exfil waiting for us, but as we leap, we balls up the jump completely. Thankfully, Price is always on standby and springs into action to save us for the second time this mission. With the job well done, we move on to our next mission. Here, we did get the trophy for finishing the crew expendable mission, and we got the package trophy for finishing the mission on veteran difficulty. No trophies in the next mission, the coup, but it's vital for the story as we play as the president of Saudi Arabia, Al-Falani. As you can see, it's not a good day for the president as there is a bit of a revolution happening and it's led by a warlord called Al-Assad. You may be wondering what mad crime did the president commit for his people to revolt? Well, he wanted to raise the age of consent to a normal fucking age. But obviously the lads weren't okay with that and decided to overthrow him. I guarantee there will be at least one person annoyed by that joke. As you can see, the Russians are also helping Al-Assad overthrow the government as they are big fans of up-and-coming dictators. It's good to see though the Middle East is keeping up with its traditions like public executions. Sadly, all of my jokes won't save Al-Falani as he is dragged from the car and beaten. This is when we see the real mastermind behind this plot, Imran Zakayev, the leader of the Russian ultranationalist party. Sadly, again for Al-Falani, his dream of wanting to stop beheadings and women being stoned for showing their ankles dies with him. But this does lead us into our next mission. During the mission Blackout, we managed to earn 3 trophies. The first for getting 4 headshots in a row, and the other 2 are for finishing the mission and then for finishing it on veteran difficulty. Back with Price, Soap and Gaz, the lads are headed to Russia to rescue Nikolai, as he was our informant on the cargo ship. And as Price says, we take care of our friends. Once our trio arrive in Russia, we are to meet with the Russian loyalists who plan on helping us, and while on our way to the meeting point, we pick off some of the bad Russians along the way. This leads to us finding our second piece of intel. Eventually, we meet with the leader of the loyalist forces, Kamarov, and he tells us that the ultra-nationalists are slaughtering people in the nearby village. So if we want to rescue Nikolai, we need to help them clear the village first. And we do this by taking up a sniping position on the ridge and picking off high priority targets while the loyalists assault the village. That is until we start to get flanked from the left, so we meet the threat head on by spamming noob tubes left, right and centre. Luckily for me, some geezer left his cooker in the middle of nowhere, which gave me much needed cover to use as we killed the last few Russians. Once again, we get back to sniping high priority targets such as machine gunners and snipers on elevated positions. Even after helping his men, Kamarov starts to take the piss a bit by not telling us where Nikolai is. So Gaz takes matters into his own hands and we learn he is at the end of the village.
Well, that wasn't so hard, was it? Now go and sit in the corner.
You just know both Price and Soap were pissing themselves laughing at that. Once we finish laughing at Kamarov, however, we rappel down and begin to rush towards the house where they are holding Nikolai. Using our stun grenades and taking our time, we are able to clear the village of the last few remaining ultra-nationalists. Once we arrive outside the house, Price orders Gaz to cut the power to the building. This allows us to clean the house with zero issues. Here, we did earn a trophy for getting 4 headshot kills in a row. Thankfully, my years of playing this game has prepared me for this wanker who we drop in milliseconds. Finally, with the building cleared, this allows us to rescue Nikolai, but we finish it off by finding our third piece of intel. As we board the chopper, however, Nikolai warns Price that the Americans won't take Al-Assad alive, and this leads us into our next mission. Here we got a trophy for finishing the mission Blackout and another trophy for finishing the mission Blackout on veteran difficulty. During our next mission, Charlie Don't Surf, we got 1 trophy, and that was for finishing the mission on veteran difficulty. Finally, it's time for the Yanks to enter the war, and this time it's not 2 years late. But this has us playing as Sergeant Paul Jackson, a US Marine during the invasion of the Middle East. And this time the Yanks aren't in the Middle East for oil, but they are here to capture or kill Al-Assad. As we start the mission, we have the most American looking thing I've ever seen in my life as the invasion of the Middle East begins. Our squad, consisting of Vasquez, Griggs and a few others, rappel down and move towards the target building. Vasquez kicks us off by blowing the door open and we begin sweeping the building for Al-Assad. Now, still having not died, my confidence was sky high as I stuck to the strategy of stunning the room and sweeping. But my confidence was soon shattered as we turned the corner and nearly got dropped by this last stand abusing scumbag. Not only did he have last stand, but also martyrdom, which had me scrambling to escape the room.
I want to go home. I want to go home!
Following Vasquez outside, even he had a quick run-in with the Grim Reaper as a stray frag grenade nearly has him going home in a bag.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know? I mean, I'm a little bit weak.
So back to basics. I start to slow down, take my time and pick my shots while staying close to cover. Eventually, as we advance, I use my years of experience playing this game to camp an enemy spawn as we wipe out several more insurgents. Yet again, we find another piece of intel, taking our count up to 5 so far. Having taken over the enemy sniper's nest, we borrow a Dragonov to pick off several enemies who are head glitching to the max. As we get closer to the TV station where Al-Assad is meant to be hiding, the fighting becomes even more intense. And to make matters worse, I stumble into the Valley of Death as we are nearly killed yet again. As me and the boys advance, I slowly peek to pick off whoever shows themselves, but Vasquez yet again sponges an RPG, this time like a fucking Chad. So not wanting to watch my lieutenant get blown into a million pieces, I push forward and kill the man with the RPG. There is honestly nothing more terrifying than some mad lad in sandals with an RPG spam firing them at you. With the way cleared, our squad push forward until an enemy peeks the corner and I just done the most American thing of my life. This sends me back to the Valley of Death again. So using my brain, I flank the RPG nest and take them both out before they can bully me. But for the keen-eyed viewer, you know exactly what just happened as I blown this fella's head off.
Look out! Grenade!
Well, I think it's pretty clear Jackson will have some severe PTSD once this is all over. Finally, after all that, we arrive and breach the TV station where our intel suggests al-Assad is broadcasting propaganda. As the Marines move inside to clear the building, some prick decides to chuck a grenade over my shoulder for a laugh.
I'm getting really sick of you!
Entering the room, it's far too open for my liking, so I grab a shotgun and dart for some hard cover. Now, a little thing about the COD AI, they always know where you are, but if they can't shoot you, they do the next best thing, and that's chuck a grenade at you. Now, if you played World at War on Veteran, it's famous for this exact thing. But let's just say COD4 woke up this morning and decided to give World at War a run for its money, as I was peppered with frags for easily 10 minutes straight. In an effort to stop this, I decided to show myself so they had something to shoot at, but this backfired instantly. And to add insult to injury, I got smacked in the head with a frag grenade. After that complete slog of a firefight, we finally breached the top floor and we see that al-Assad isn't here, and it was a recording the entire time. With Vasquez and the Yanks not giving up easily, however, this will lead us into our next mission. Here we got a trophy for finishing Charlie Don't Surf on veteran difficulty. During our next mission, The Bog, we managed to earn 3 trophies. The first for saving Private Royswitz, the second trophy for destroying all tanks on the overpass using the Javelin, and lastly a trophy for finishing the mission on veteran difficulty. Our objective for this mission is simple, it's to rescue a downed M1A2 Abrams tank stuck in a nearby bog. As us and the rest of the Marines start to push towards the objective, we get ambushed by more insurgents, so I pull out the trusty noob tube once again. Using the NVGs to our advantage, we pick off a few more insurgents as we push inside to clear the building. But as both us and Royswitz push to the second floor, we race ahead to save our fellow Marine. And this gets us a trophy for saving Private Royswitz. As we make it to the second level, however, Royswitz cannot return the favour and save us back, resulting in our first death of this campaign.
I failed you. You trusted me. And I failed you.
To make matters worse, this then happens again as we save him, and yet again we die to the exact same thing.
It's ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
After getting past that speed bump though, we use their own mounted machine gun to spray and pray, killing the remaining insurgents. With our squad still trying to regroup with the tank, we come under even heavier fire than before. Luckily, Jackson has Commando Pro built in as we lunge several feet to plant our knife in this fella's neck. As the rest of the Marines catch up with us, we continue to drop targets on the overpass as they are keeping us pinned down. But soon we have bigger problems as tanks start to roll in, but thankfully Private West is on it.
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv.
Obviously, we get the task of taking out the tank since Private West has a hole the size of a golf ball through his brain, but as we continue firing the Javelin, we managed to destroy all 4 of the tanks, and this earns us the Feel the Heat trophy for doing just that. Finally, after all that, our boys arrive to support the tank, and I grab another Dragunov to pick off enemies trying to flank us from the left.
Hold the perimeter.
With the area crawling with enemies, we need air support, so me and a few of the Marines push forward to take out the anti-air gun nearby, which we do by spraying every single bullet in the mag at the duo manning the gun, and then we rig up some C4. This allows the US of fucking A to flex their insane defense budget as we call in a chopper to take out a single building.
And some people would say, well, that's out of the budget. I said, let me tell you something. There is no budget when it comes to our military.
With the area cleared of insurgents for now, our boys plan their next move, but this leads to the mission ending and us moving on to the next one. However, we did get a trophy for finishing the Bog mission on veteran. While playing the Hunted mission, we earned 2 trophies, the first for saving the farmer from being killed, and the second for killing an enemy while flashbanged. Back with Price and the lads, we carry on where we left off, still in the chopper, and it's probably the worst start to a mission ever as a missile has locked onto the chopper and we get hit. The fact we have 4 main characters in the chopper though means we were all bound to survive.
Look, we got 4 or 5 of the main characters on this ship. I think we'll be fine.
Yet again though, Price is genuinely unfazed and he gets to do his favourite thing in the entire world, and that's drag us back to our feet. Working behind enemy lines though is just another day for the SAS, so we carry on while we try to sort out an exfil. Things are complicated however as soon we encounter some Russians picking on a nearby farmer. And being British, we can't allow that, so us and the lads open fire and drop the Russians. This earns us a trophy for saving the farmer. As us and the lads continue to hide from the patrolling Russians, here is when I come face to face with my soon-to-be nemesis, the chopper.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
Eventually our cover is blown though, so we return fire while Gaz gets the basement door open, and as soon as that fucking door was open, I legged it down them stairs to safety as quickly as possible. But as I began to clear the house, I not only flashed myself again, I got flashed by an enemy, but this got me a trophy for killing an enemy while flashed. After this, we had several more extremely close encounters with death as the ultra-nationalists began to swarm our position, but eventually there was only one of them left who got gunned down by our entire squad. Yet again, the chopper returned searching for us, and I've never been bullied in real life, but virtually, this chopper absolutely took my lunch money as the prick on the gun killed me again and again and again.
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
After easily 15 attempts to just cross this one field, I decided to slow down and use a frag to clear the right side of enemies. Once they were dead, this allowed me to hard push towards cover to escape the chopper for a few minutes. Without having bullets rain down from the sky at me, I was able to clear the next area quite easily. But if you thought me getting bullied was over, as you can see, if you stick even a pinky toe out of cover, this coked up Russian will nearly kill you. And if you expose yourself to get a shot on him, you get dropped. Finally, however, I did manage to kill him, and then I darted for cover nearby, nearly dying in the process. But the prick seems to have a tactical insertion down inside the chopper, and every time he dies, he just spawns back in. So I hold this angle until he spawns in again and unleash half a magazine until he is dead. But as we rush to the barn to end this ordeal, we die to a camping twat. Meaning we have to redo this entire section again. And when I say I died here a lot, oh, I mean it.
This nigga is trash.
After easily 25 minutes of dying, I managed to make it inside and clear the barn. So we grabbed the stinger to finally end this dickhead. But as to be expected, he isn't going down without pissing me off one last time. After all of that torture, however, we are finally able to get a lock on and destroy the chopper. Just as we get closer to the exfil, the ultra-nationalists surround our position, so we give good old Uncle Sam a quick phone call.
Whoa, let's fly outrageous, mate!
God bless America. This then leads us into the next mission. We got 4 trophies in the next mission, Death from Above, with the first one being for killing 5 enemies with a single shot from the SC-130, our second trophy for killing 2 enemies by blowing up a vehicle, and our last 2 trophies were for finishing the Death from Above mission and also for finishing the Hunted and Death from Above mission on veteran difficulty. Once the Yanks heard Price ring them up and say that they get to obliterate some Russians, obviously they couldn't resist. So we control the SC-130 and get to cover the boys. As the ultra-nationalists very stupidly try to attack the SAS, we pick off every little white silhouette that appears. Again, not being the smartest people alive, they decide to clump together, giving me an easy shot. And as we kill 5 with 1 shot, we got the straight flush trophy. Bryce and the gang then commandeer some trucks to reach the exfil while we keep them covered. We continue to clear the way ahead by destroying several buildings full of RPG-wielding maniacs, but we also hit a truck that exploded, killing 2 enemies, and this got us the roadkill trophy for doing just that. After several more minutes of covering the team, they are finally able to extract, allowing us to progress to the next mission. But firstly, we got the trophy for finishing the Death from Above mission, and we got another trophy for finishing the Hunted and the Death from Above mission on Veteran difficulty. We managed to earn 1 trophy in our next mission, War Pig, and that was for completing both the Bog mission and the War Pig mission on Veteran difficulty. We rejoin Jackson and the Marines as they continue searching for Al-Assad. To find him, we need to push towards the capital city, and to do this, we will have the help of the repaired M1A2 Abrams, known as War Pig. Back at the same bog, we see our position has been fully surrounded yet again, so we get to work clearing the way. War Pig, however, basically does this on its own, allowing us to follow closely behind. As always, the rooftops are scattered with RPG teams, leading to me getting some quick PTSD. We put that aside for 1 minute and do our best to take them all out. Slowly pushing our way down the street, we managed to clear a nearby house, giving us much needed cover. Once inside, we take noob tubing to a whole new level. This allows me to focus fire on only one side of the street as, well, the other side is decimated, and the last pocket of resistance are holed up inside a house, so Vasquez uses a bin as cover as we get a shot and kill the gunner. Finally, War Pig comes in clutch one last time, as before this tank can kill us, they fly around the corner and wipe it out with 2 well-placed shots. Us and the rest of the Marines board the chopper while Griggs stays to hold the area. But this leads us into our next mission. Here, we did get a trophy for finishing the Bog and War Pig on Veteran difficulty. Shock and Awe is our next mission, and we got 3 trophies during it. The first for killing 20 enemies with explosives in one mission, the second for knifing a downed enemy, and the last one for finishing Shock and Awe on Veteran difficulty. We then arrive in the capital city as we think Al-Assad has retreated to his palace, but we're warned that there may be a nuclear weapon hidden inside the city. Once again, Jackson is on the gun as we storm the capital city with 30,000 men.
I started blasting. Bang! Bang!
We get the fun job of destroying any and all resistance, allowing our ground forces to land once the anti-air guns have been cleared. With them destroyed, this allows us to drop a large amount of Marines on the ground, overwhelming the insurgents. But after this, we are soon sent to help evacuate a recon team that are pinned down. While we land the chopper, I continue to blow anyone's head off, leading to us getting the Explosion Man trophy. Quickly, us and the lads leave the chopper and start fighting our way towards the recon team. Using stuns, we manage to take out a few enemies, but one is still alive, so we shank him, and this got us the trophy for knifing a downed enemy. Forget the recon team for a second, as I have just found our 8th piece of intel, and this was quickly followed by our 9th piece of intel. After rescuing the recon team, we all board the chopper yet again, but as we are leaving, our escort helicopter gets hit and crashes onto the streets below. Not quite a Black Hawk going down, but it is something similar. Refusing to leave a man behind, we race to grab the pilot before they are overrun and killed. Never mind, turns out it's a woman, so no wonder why she crashed.
Women.
Thankfully, grabbing her though gives us immunity to damage, so it's very easy to get her back on board. The Marines are all ordered to retreat though, as it's been confirmed that Al-Assad does indeed have a nuke, but surely he wouldn't use it, right?
Everyone hang on!
Jackson, being the absolute tank he is, managed to survive the crash, but his death is all but confirmed, along with 30,000 American troops. And I'm sure this won't send a certain general into a mad lust for revenge. Here we got a trophy for completing Shock and Awe on Veteran difficulty. During our next mission, Safe House, we got 2 trophies, and they were for finishing the mission and finishing it on Veteran difficulty. Thanks to Nikolai, he tells us that Al-Assad could actually be hiding in a safe house in Azerbaijan, so Price and the gang plan on investigating. As we arrive, some of Kamarov's men meet us and say that the ultra-nationalists are protecting Al-Assad in the village up ahead. I push to the high ground and use a Dragunov and chopper support to wipe out the majority of the targets inside the houses. With most of them dead inside, it allows us to push in and wipe out the few remaining soldiers. Thankfully, the chopper does a lot of the heavy lifting, allowing us to sit back and pick off whoever we want. As you can see, we aren't exactly fighting the smartest bunch of people alive, but not taking any chances, we clear the last house with a grenade launcher. With Al-Assad nowhere to be found, that leaves only the barn at the top of the hill for us to clear. Price decides to do this solo, and once he sees Al-Assad, he absolutely beats the shit out of him. Unfortunately for him, Price thinks of the Geneva Convention more like the Geneva Suggestion. Luckily his phone does ring, however, giving him a moment to catch his breath.
Sir, it's his cell phone. Who was that, sir?
Zakhaev. Imran Zakhaev.
With his execution, we will head on to our next mission 15 years ago. We did get a trophy for finishing the mission Safe House, and we got another trophy for finishing Safe House on Veteran difficulty. Gillies in the Mist is the only trophy we unlocked during all Gillied Up, and it's for finishing the mission without being spotted. We then jump back to 1996 as we follow Lieutenant Price and Captain Macmillan as they were sent to Pripyat, 3 miles away from Chernobyl, to assassinate the leader of the ultranationalist party, Imran Zakhaev, as he wants to trade nuclear fuel rods for weapons. This is when we begin the most iconic mission in Call of Duty history, all Gillied Up. And thankfully, we have one hell of a partner to help us out. So we follow Macmillan's lead the entire time as we pick off some early targets.
Tango down.
Thankfully, the good captain's spidey senses start to tingle and he tells us to hit the deck. And luckily he did, as we see an attack helicopter pass overhead mere moments later. But from one close call to another, Macmillan orders us to hit the deck and move slowly. And it's only when there is a break in the grass do we see why, as a large group of soldiers and BTRs are headed our direction.
Oh, I'm fucking shitting myself.
Now, I'm not 100% sure of the requirements to join the SAS, but you must require the biggest pair of balls ever, as these two just chill here while BTRs roll past and enemy soldiers step over the top of them. Just to prove it wasn't a fluke, we then repeat the same feat just on a much smaller scale this time. But not wanting us to get bored, the captain keeps us entertained throughout the mission.
Oi, Susie.
That's how it's done.
I decided to follow this up by giving him a heart attack, killing 3 guards quickly with a silenced P90, and it was all to grab our 10th piece of intel. Just as things couldn't get any worse for our duo, we have tons of enemies in our path. But we follow Macmillan's lead once again and race over to hide behind some cars. Then we get down and crawl under the trucks to continue to sneak past the group. Once no one is looking, we dart out the other side and sprint as fast as we can to safety. Getting closer to the hotel where we plan on taking our shot from, Macmillan belts out yet another iconic line.
Look at this place. 50,000 people used to live in the city. Now it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
And after all that, we finally arrive outside the hotel and we can move on to the next mission. This is when we got the trophy for not getting spotted during all Gillied Up. We managed to earn a crazy 5 trophies during our next mission, 1 shot, 1 kill. The first trophy was earned for shooting and killing Makarov. The next trophy was for surviving a dog attack, and the third for shooting 3 enemies as they rappel from the same rope. Our last 2 trophies earned this mission are for finishing the mission and for finishing all Gillied Up and 1 shot kill on Veteran difficulty. After staying in the same spot for days, our duo wait for Zakhaev to arrive. Just as they arrive, we take one last look at our target and then scope in. As the meeting takes place, we see both a future ally and our biggest enemy speaking.
Money can buy many things, even power. The road to our future begins here, my friend.
Fancying a bit of a double, we fire a miss with our first, but blow Zakhaev's arm off with the second shot, then quickly pan over and kill Makarov after this. This earned us the Time Paradox trophy. We then rappel down out of the building while an entire army of angry Russians try to catch up with us. Not wanting to waste any time, we kill who we need and use the stuns to bypass large groups of enemies. Not letting us go easy, an attack helicopter tracks us down, so we both start firing at the pilot, leading to yet another thing going wrong.
Good night, you bastard.
Price doesn't really care, however, as he gets to grab Macmillan back to his feet, so he's pretty happy. With Macmillan on our shoulders, we are still being chased, so I decide to head inside these apartments to try lose our pursuers. This leads to setting the captain down and we start to clear our corners. Ah, for fuck's sake. Well, at least now I know he's into the left. Being a retard, I do the exact same thing again, but we 100% know now he stays to the left every single time. This game continued to take the piss out of me as I checked right and he was back on the left, and this time he even had a pal.
I'm done. Cut the show. I'm done.
To make matters even worse, just as I lifted Macmillan, a dog attacked me, so I set him down very quickly, and as we killed the dog, we got a trophy for surviving a dog attack. Once we arrived at the exfil, we set the captain down so he can cover us from a distance while he radios the chopper to come get us. I then took up a defensive position and blown the C4 I had planted, wiping out an entire squad in one go. As a second squad emerges, we continue to drop them before they can reach cover. Soon, however, we are forced to abandon this plan as 3 choppers start dropping troops in, so I begin to pick off any soldiers rappelling down. And after killing the 3rd soldier on one rope, we got the reinforcement denied trophy. After holding this position for several minutes, we are completely overrun, so it's a good thing our exfil has arrived. So we butcher any enemies standing between us and Macmillan. Once again, we grab the captain and begin making our way towards the chopper, and with the SAS covering us, we're able to board with no problems. While under heavy fire, we fly away and progress to our next mission. This is when we got a trophy for finishing the 1-shot 1-kill mission, and we got the shot trophy for finishing it on veteran difficulty. During heat, we only got 1 trophy, and that was for using the hidden cache. With the ultra-nationalists realising that Al-Assad might be well dead, they plan on attacking our position to simply kill us all. So Price comes up with a plan of slowly retreating back to the barn while we buy time for our exfil. And as always, Gaz is pretty happy about the plan.
Let's do this.
Drop your weapons and surrender at once.
No. No, I don't think I will.
As the Ruskies begin to make their way slowly towards our positions, me and the boys enact Price's plan to defend the ridge. I immediately head for the church tower to grab a few RPGs and get ready.
Do it. Kaboom.
Open fire!
This does lead to me becoming the very thing I once hated as I start spam firing RPGs down at the ultra-nationalists. Once we fire the last of the RPGs though, this got us the trophy for using the hidden cache on heat. Thankfully Soap is as comfortable using a sniper as he is with an RPG, as we continue to drop several more soldiers while they try push up the hill. Using their brains for once, they decide to mortar our position and use smoke at the same time, so we are forced to fall back. And thank fuck I didn't stay in that church tower another second. Unfortunately for the commies, Price came up with this plan, so this has us using the downed minigun to wipe out several helicopters carrying dozens of troops, denying them much needed reinforcements. Falling back yet again, it's our job to detonate the C4 scattered across the village. As we retreat to the last line of defense, we hear of tanks rolling up on us, so we get the job of using the javelin we stored in the barn, which we end up using to devastating effect as we manage to wipe out all 4 tanks before they even manage to get a single shot off. Just as we start to get overrun, the RAF decide to join the party as we call in devastating airstrikes on the Ruskies' positions. This is when the Yanks radio us, saying they are our exfil out of here, but they can't land at the top of the hill due to the SAM sites nearby, so we have to fight our way all the way back down the hill, and it's safe to say Gaz is slightly pissed at this.
Oh, he's got to be taking a piss! We just busted our asses with his LZ, and now they want us to go all the way back down!
With 4 minutes to make it down the hill and us taking point, I chuck smoke out to allow our squad to advance. After finding a small trench on the left side of the field, I slowly make my way across the field of death. But Veteran doesn't plan on letting us go that easy, as I have 3 heart attacks within seconds.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
You're joking. Not another one?
After shitting myself, I make it to a small shed and try push forward alone and get absolutely destroyed. This does happen several more times. After being hit with another 3 frag grenades, I quickly checked if I loaded up World at War by mistake.
No. Wait.
After finding a gap in their defences, however, I made a mad dash for it, leading to me diving over a fence just to reach the American extraction. Once on board, we waited for the rest of the team to catch up, and I'm sure they were pretty pissed that we left them. But with this mission completed, we can then move on to the next one. During our next mission, the Sins of the Father, we got 2 trophies, which were for finishing the Sins of the Father mission and for finishing the Heat and the Sins of the Father mission on veteran difficulty. Realizing that the nuke that blew up the Yanks was actually Zakhaev's, we want to have a wee word with him, and to do that, us and the Yanks and the loyalist Russians are joining forces to capture his son. We kick this mission off by surrounding an ultra-nationalist checkpoint, as our plan requires a few disguises. We kick this off by taking out both guards inside the watchtower, allowing the others to advance safely. And we carry on sitting back, picking off a few more targets. With the area cleared, we then quickly grabbed our 12th piece of intel. Fast forward to ours, as us and the lads have disguised ourselves as commies. Well, Griggs hasn't, because this isn't Netflix, okay? He can't get away with it in Russia. Not long after, Gaz spots Zakhaev Jr.
Sir, I have a visual on the target in the 3rd vehicle, and I'm walking by it right now.
Price then signals the team, and we open fire on absolutely anything that moves inside the kill zone. Not one to go down easy, however, the prick decides to ram the tower that we're in. Being a complete retard, he doesn't shoot us dead and decides to do a runner instead. Both us and Griggs are given the task to chase after him while our air support guides us to where he is fleeing to. This does lead to some pretty intense fighting throughout the streets while Zakhaev tries to flee, and he probably would have been able to get away with it if his men weren't utterly useless, as half of them aren't even facing the right direction. But as we push to the building he is hiding inside, we come under extreme fire. So thankfully our air support once again helps us out and decimates anyone brave enough to poke their head out of a window. This allows us to push the interior of the building and start to clear the remaining communists inside. Eventually, we have him completely surrounded on all sides, but just as we try apprehend him, he decides to eat a bullet instead of talk.
This is the worst!
Leading us into our next mission. Here we got a trophy for finishing the Sins of the Father and another trophy for finishing Heat and the Sins of the Father on veteran difficulty. No trophies are earned in the mission ultimatum. Kinda upset that his son is dead, the one-armed bandit decides to take over Russia's intercontinental ballistic missile facility so he can nuke the West. So Price leads a joint British-American operation to stop this from happening. Griggs, being an American though, happens to fuck up his jump from the get-go and does get captured. This leads to Soap, Gaz and Price planning on rescuing him first before we begin the operation. Luckily for Griggs, the Ruskies didn't exactly drag him away yet, so we begin to clear out the nearby houses searching for our American friend. Soon, however, we hear his voice and breach the room, and I decide to flash absolutely everybody because I am a spastic, but Price does hit Griggs with some British humour.
About damn time. I was starting to think you guys were gonna leave me behind.
That was my first thought, but your arse had all the C4.
Happily, with Griggs back, and more importantly his C4, this allows us to disable power to the facility, allowing all of the other SAS and American teams to breach. Just as our team entered the outskirts of the facility, we are blocked by some more ultra-nationalist troops. Now, if you don't know why Soap is called Soap, it's because he clears CQB tests squeaky clean, and we demonstrate some of that by picking off targets with 1 or 2 bullets maximum. Foolishly, the commies try land men right on top of us, but we always bring the noob tube just in case, so we take the chopper out within seconds. Yeah, and seriously, how can anyone tell me Russians are clever when they do the exact same thing straight after?
Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
To make matters even worse for the ultranationalists, just as they leave their troop transports, I hit them with a fuck ton of C4.
I'm kind of retarded.
With all the enemies cleared, we make it just outside the main facility and we regroup with one of the American sniper teams, and they promise to give us cover once inside, but those plans soon change.
We got a problem here.
Delta 1 on strike. We have a missile launch. I repeat, we have a missile.
There's another one.
Delta 1 X-ray. We have 2 missiles in the air. Over.
With absolutely no time to waste and 2 nukes already in the air, we fucking leg it to the gates of the facility, and this leads us into our next mission. Once again, we earn no trophies during the mission, all in, as we have slightly more important matters on our hands, and that is stopping 2 nukes from hitting the coast of America. Now, if they were headed for France, maybe I'd not be in such of a hurry to stop them, but there's no pressure on us or anything. It's only 41 million casualties if we fail. Somehow Price and Griggs just had them saws shoved up their ass, but as we push into the facility, we are met with heavy resistance. To make our lives easier, I use some leftover C4 to destroy a BTR, but in a rush, I foolishly push forward without having fully reloaded, and I'm forced to use my knife. But just as I try use Gaz's advice to switch weapons, Price races forward and saves the day.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
And thankfully he did, as we are able to grab our 14th intel after this. We follow this up by using 2 more pieces of C4 to destroy another 2 BTRs. As us and all of the other teams regroup, we rappel down inside the facility, progressing on to the next mission. During no fighting in the war room, we managed to earn 2 trophies. The first for finding 15 pieces of intel, and the second was for completing Ultimatum, all in, and no fighting in the war room on veteran difficulty. As our team enter the facility, we have bad news, as we still haven't gotten the nuclear codes from the Russians, so we're basically just winging it from here. Splitting into several teams, us, Price and Griggs start to make our way inside, and with only 9 minutes until the nukes hit the US, we lock the fuck in and start clearing room after room using the old trick of stun and sweep. Not every room is so easy to clear though, as in here is full of wee rats hiding behind boxes, and they managed to kill me several times. And after another few close calls, we managed to clear the room completely. However, the next room is by far our biggest challenge yet, as in here the commies took camping to the extreme. If we push left, we got shot in the back from the other side. Realising I can't win no matter what I do, I just repeatedly rushed the left hand side and tried to drop the soldiers as quickly as possible. Using the noob tube again to clear more rooms, we're almost killed as soon as we peek our head around the corner. Eventually though, after one last push, we managed to clear this part of the facility with only 5 minutes left. And luckily we have so much time left, as these doors couldn't open any fucking slower.
How long, please? How long, please?
Reaching the wall to the war room, we enter, and with Gaz's team on the other side, we pincer the remaining ultra-nationalists and wipe them out. After finally getting the codes, we get the job of entering them, and this destroys the nukes mid-flight before they can reach the US. With his plan failed, we see Zakhaev rushing to leave, but we have our own exfil to worry about. Before we leave the war room, however, we find yet another piece of intel, which gets us a trophy for finding 15 pieces of intel. We then regroup with Gaz and his team at the vehicle depot, as we plan on stealing Russian trucks to use as our getaway. And this leads us into the last mission of the story. This got us a trophy for finishing Ultimatum, all in and no fighting in the war room on veteran difficulty. During the last mission, Game Over, we earned 3 trophies. The first for finishing Game Over on veteran difficulty, the second for finishing the campaign on any difficulty, and the third for finishing the campaign on veteran difficulty. While us and the boys are fleeing, we are being chased by all the ultra-nationalists in the area. But the lads have other things on their mind.
It's just too hot, man. But room temperature? Please, a beer should be ice cold.
A lager, maybe, or a glass of water like you drink, but a pint of stout.
I'm gonna have to school y'all both when we get back stateside.
Yeah, well, either way, we're stopping in London first. And I'm buying.
Like a prime Vin Diesel, Gaz doesn't take his foot off the accelerator. Now, usually vehicle missions are easy, but fuck me sideways, this one is deadly as multiple trucks are firing at once and we only have half cover. Make matters worse, the Mad Ruskies are back with their RPGs, so we have to spray and pray that we hit them several times over. Once again, Price pulls an RPG out of his hole and gives it to us, so we can fire at the nearby hind chasing us. Not exactly getting close to hitting it, but we do manage to stop it from lining up a perfect shot on us. The hind does decide to stop firing, however, and this can only be good, right?
Oh shit, he's about to take out that bridge! Stop that bloody truck!
Waking up moments later with the entire bridge collapsing, we race to get off before we end up falling to our death. But with that obstacle cleared, we then have to deal with wave after wave of enemies dropping in. Just as this is happening though, Kamarov gets in contact and says that they are on their way. This may be too late, however, as we are soon knocked unconscious by another explosion. Riggs is the only one not wiped out by the explosion, so he decides to drag us to safety. Well, not exactly, as he drags us from behind cover and out into the open. Sadly for Griggs, this mistake soon cost him his life, as he is gunned down by Zakhaev's bodyguards. Rice is completely fucked by the explosion and is clinging to life, and to make things even worse, Zakhaev marches towards us and shoots a dying Gaz.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Before he can finish us off though, Kamarov and the loyalists save us yet again. This distraction allows Price to make the assist of the century as he slides us his 1911. The game then ends with Kamarov and his men airlifting Soap while they try to resuscitate Captain Price. This got us the trophy for finishing Game Over on veteran difficulty, another trophy for finishing the campaign on any difficulty, and a third trophy for beating the campaign on veteran difficulty. We do, however, have one last mission to complete, but we will save that until the very end. As always, with every game, we have some cleanup left to do, and a lot of these are just completing certain challenges during certain missions. So let's get to it. The first trophy we will earn during the cleanup is for grabbing all 30 pieces of intel. So I loaded back into several different missions to grab the intel we missed and get out. During our first playthrough, we did manage to grab 15 of them, so we're halfway done, and this saved us a lot of time. Finally, we found the last piece of intel, earning us the Eyes and Ears trophy. We then loaded up Crew Expendable yet again, as we got 3 trophies during this mission. 3 of a kind was for knifing 3 enemies in a row. Retro Shooter was earned for not reloading a gun the entire mission, and finally Master Ninja was for finishing a mission using only our knife. Very early into the mission we got our first trophy as we knifed the drunk fella, and we followed it up by knifing his 2 sleeping mates in the bunk beds, earning us the 3 of a kind trophy. We then completed the rest of the mission as normal, but only used our knife to clear out all of the remaining enemies inside the ship, and yet again we fucked up our jump and Price had to save us. We got the Retro Shooter trophy for not reloading the entire mission, and the Master Ninja trophy for using our knife the entire mission. You'll never believe it again, we loaded into Crew Expendable yet again for our next trophy, Desert Storm, which was for getting 5 kills with the Desert Eagle. Once back in the ship, we found and killed the enemy who carries the Desert Eagle, and with the weapon in hand, we rushed around killing 5 enemies in a row, which earned us the Desert Storm trophy. After that, we loaded back into Charlie Don't Surf to get the Your Show Sucked trophy, which was for destroying all TVs with Al-Assad's speech. So I slowly took my time checking every room for all available TVs and made sure that I destroyed each and every one. Now this sounds simple until you reach this room with easily 150 screens for you to check, but I did just commit a full genocide on anything with Al-Assad's face on it. Eventually, as we entered the last room, we shot a handful more TVs, and after destroying the last one, this got us the trophy. Next up, we loaded back into Heat as we got 2 trophies during this. The first for destroying a chopper with an RPG, and the other for destroying all 8 choppers that appear on the mission Heat. Just like my first playthrough, I used the minigun to destroy all 5 of the reinforcing choppers as they approached, which was very straightforward. But this time, I grabbed an RPG and waited at the top of the hill for the other 3 choppers to appear. And after destroying one with an RPG, we got the Bird on the Ground trophy. I quickly followed this up by destroying the last chopper, which got us the trophy for destroying all 8 choppers on Heat. After this, we loaded up all Ghillied Up again for our next 2 trophies. The first is for knifing 20 dogs, and the second is for destroying the attack helicopter on all Ghillied Up. I kicked this off by getting detected straight away, which spawns in 3 dogs, allowing us to knife them again and again. And once all 3 are dead, we simply reload the checkpoint and get detected again. Now, I love dogs, but sadly for man's best friend, I love my platinum trophies just a little bit more, so I carry on stabbing them all. That is until we hit the 20 mark and got ourselves the trophy. To annoy Macmillan some more, we then purposely got spotted by the chopper and used the stingers in the church to try blow it up. But even on recruit difficulty, this thing can absolutely penetrate you from all angles. Getting fucked by a chopper is a bit of a theme in this video, but eventually we managed to get a lock on, and as we destroy the chopper, we got our trophy. We then load back into Warpig for one reason, and that's to get the War Master trophy, which requires 1 kill with all weapons. Now, I had used every single weapon in the game and got a kill with it except for 2, the M16 and the M60. With the M16 being pretty rare, we had to load back into Warpig as it only spawns here, and we quickly grabbed ourselves a few kills with the M16. Our next weapon is on Game Over, and it's easily the rarest in the game, the M60, as it only spawns once the entire game. So we kill the geezer who carries it and grab a few kills with the M60, getting us the War Master trophy. Up next is our last main trophy and easily the hardest in the game, Mile High Club, as we have to beat the bonus mission Mile High Club on veteran difficulty. With 1 minute to storm the plane and free a hostage, we have our work cut out for us. But going into this mission again, knowing I had done it before, I was slightly confident, but I was quickly reminded within seconds of how deadly this task would be. Sticking with the same strategy of throwing an early stun, this allows us to spray at mostly blinded enemies, racking up some easy kills and allowing us to pick up a better secondary weapon. Pushing up to some cover, we use the plane being damaged as the perfect time to advance, and with the P90's fire rate and magazine size, we clear this entire section of enemies. Once again, we stick with frying the enemy's retinas, then hard pushing as fast as we can to kill them before they can recover. Sadly, I learned too late that some Ruskies are immune to stuns, as we whip round the corner and get shit on. It would be a good few attempts before we got that far up the plane again, as I just kept dying. But I was confident with each death we would just get more experienced and better. Finally, we got back to the corridor of doom, but we stunned again and rushed forward. Safe to say, after missing someone point blank with a shotgun, my PS5 controller looked at me in pure fear. Obviously, having died at the final hurdle, I was slightly irritated, to put it mildly, and dying at the exact same spot for the next 15 fucking minutes didn't exactly help lower my spiking blood pressure.
It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
Weapons free.
This little comedian then decided to kill me again to strip me of my last remaining piece of sanity.
Yeah, he's done it again! He's done it again!
That is a foul!
You fucking little bastard! One time is funny, two times it's fucking annoying, no?
After getting so annoyed that I leaned as far forward as I physically could, I managed to drop the two enemies this time, but was too fucking late.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
Coming to the realization that this would be my only chance to enter the Mile High Club, I decided to lock the fuck in.
Weapons free. Tango down in Section 1 Alpha. X-ray down. Hostile neutralized. Move up. X-ray down. We got a whole breach! Get down! Get down! Target neutralized. Keep moving. Stairway clear. Multiple contacts. Hostile neutralized. Hostile neutralized. Tango down. Now would you fire up here? We're looking for a civilian.
As soon as we free the hostage, however, a bomb gets set off, so it's time for us to leave. And when you're this high up, there's only one direction you can go, as we skydive out of the crashing plane. This finishes all missions on Veteran and gets us a pretty cool photo of Vasquez, Gaz, Price and Griggs. But this also got us the trophy for finishing Mile High Club on Veteran difficulty. This earned us the Platinum Trophy for Modern Warfare Remastered. So everyone, that was the Modern Warfare Remastered Platinum again, and honestly, even though I've done it before, it's just such a good game. Easily one of the greatest CODs and FPS games of all time. But this does kickstart me actually finishing the trilogy this time. So up next will be arguably the greatest game in the franchise, Modern Warfare 2. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, guys, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye.